being able to, heal yourself with giving that feeling attention, making it feel seen, and giving it that power to it. That has been one of the most inspiring things for me for the songwriting, is just naming the feelings.
This is The Music Executive, a show where we talk about gig tips, music business strategies, songwriting experiences, collabs, and even more with industry professionals. Let's get into it.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Today we have an amazing guest, Jenna Funicella, who has actually been working in education and is currently a high school math teacher. So why in the world do we have Jenna Funicella on The Music Executive? Well, Jenna has done an April Song a Day challenge where she has written one song every day. And today we're going to talk about how to sustain that and the steps she was taking, not necessarily in order, but the steps she was taking to write songs every day. Because if you're a songwriter out there, you know that's a big challenge. And if you're not a songwriter, you know that's a big challenge. But I think it's been beneficial for her. Jenna, if you could pick any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. I'm so happy to be here. Any superpower. What comes to my head that has never done me wrong is just the teleportation, like just getting rid of that travel time and being able to bounce into all these different spots.
Nice. I like that one. That's definitely a one you don't usually hear. People usually say like flying or being invisible or something like that. That's a cool one though. X-ray vision, sorts like that, but that's a cool one. I like that one.
There's so many great ones.
For sure. Now, Jenna, today we're going to talk about your April Song a Day challenge. What was that like, and what was the goal that you were looking to accomplish with that?
Yeah, so the goal I think that I was really looking to accomplish was to be creating and to not get blocked in thinking that this wasn't going to be the right word, or this wasn't going to be the right chord, or the melody was not what I exactly wanted. And just to get into that production vibe where I'm just something has to be produced every day. Something's coming out. So let's just get that magic coming out. Yeah. And the process itself was just really interesting because songwriting is pretty new to me. I've been doing a lot of cover songs and exploring music and getting into it, and also writing. So being able to fuse those two together just to, show myself that I can do it and I can embody that energy. It was powerful.
Yeah. And did you meet your goal? Did you meet your challenge? Did you have how many days in April? 30 days. 30 days in April. So you got 30 songs. Did we make that?
I made it.
Very nice. You should be proud of yourself. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. Now, let's talk about some of the steps we were taking. And as I said earlier, this is not necessarily in any particular order, as those in the audience know. So let's talk, Jenna, about starting or some of the steps that you were taking with your songwriting.
Yeah, some of the songs, I was trying to find places to express feelings. So writing a song gave me an opportunity to feel a particular feeling. So a lot of those songs were inspired by, what am I feeling today? What is bringing me this joy or this anxiety or this, whatever the feeling may be, and kind of placing that and taking that feeling and creating just a melody from it. Sometimes the melody would just kind of pop into my head as to what I wanted to sing or talk about. And then I would just explore it and stretch it out. And then there were other times when I would go back to my writing and be like, I don't have a feeling today.
Right.
I need to go to a past feeling and give that some attention. So go into a poem and seeing how I can find, pieces like, what is the chorus element of this poem? What is the theme? And then playing around with chords, because that was definitely one of the harder parts for me. Is I'm not as gifted in singing and then being like, what chord does that match? So I had to do a lot of noodling with my ukulele to kind of figure out, like, is this going together? Is this working? And sometimes I would be blocked by my ukulele as well. And then I started like using my body or like clapping or doing like a cappella, just finding different ways to still create the music if I was feeling blocked by the strings.
Right. And that's the thing. Sometimes we feel like there can be, I'm not going to say it as a final statement, but there can be a quote unquote limitation to putting your instrument with your songwriting and not having extensive experience on that instrument, right? So sometimes it feels like the instrument's in the way. So how did you work through that? Because I'm sure a lot of people who are starting to pick up guitar or pick up ukulele or the piano or whatever the case may be, how do you work through that? And, you said you noodled on your strings, but how do you really work through that?
Yeah, it was challenging, especially with the ukulele, because that has such a particular sound. And sometimes you're playing and you're like, I feel like a lot of these songs are sounding similar. So for me, I went out, I bought some other little minor instruments that I could play with, like a tambourine, a little egg shaker, and just kind of finding other ways around me that can make those types of melodies and flow with the words, because the melody and the words were always the easier part for me, but then the matching with the instrument became challenging. So I would try just Googling a bunch of different chords, also using like websites that tell you which chords sound good together, because those exist, which was so helpful. So I was just like, fine, okay, it says these 4 chords sound good together. Let's just do 2 strums here and then a fast drum. What does that sound like? Just really exploring and keeping an open mind and being gentle with myself that like I may not know what is going to sound good, but the only way to test it out is to strum, and when it sounds right.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, too, when you're starting with the melody, talk about how you work through that melody, because the thing about the melody, it has to be memorable, right? So have you ever written your songs and you're like, yay, this is a great melody. And then the next day you're like, I don't even remember what, what I wrote. So how do you work through that, making melodies that are memorable?
Yeah, that is definitely something I faced, which then I started just voice recording. Like whenever I got a little melody in my head, I just picked up my phone because I'm like, I have forgotten before and thought that I had this, beautiful melody and think that you're going to remember, and then you don't. Was unfortunate. So just anytime I get a little something in my head, just whipping out my phone and just recording it. And sometimes even then just doing the melody that I created recorded, and then just keeping it going and just improv exploring with what other things could come off of that melody. Like, how could this be stretched? So
as you've worked through this process of writing a song a day, and that's not where you stopped. I'm sure you've still written many songs since April, because it is now December 2020. What is one thing that you learned that you're like, this is a good way to start a song, whether it be with the concept, like you found this is a solid way to just start, or what is one thing you learned that you should keep doing?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me was just attaching it to a powerful feeling that you're experiencing, and being able to, heal yourself with giving that feeling attention, making it feel seen, and giving it that power to it. That has been one of the most inspiring things for me for the songwriting, is just naming the feeling. So being able to, acknowledge what you're going through and give it some attention.
Right. Making it real, put it into words, making it real. So y'all, Jenna has some amazing music. She's really a great songwriter. I love listening to her music. Jenna, where can the audience follow you?
Ooh, I am on Instagram as Angel Funi. So that's Angel, Funi, and then an underscore. And I'm also getting my Angel Funi up on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, anywhere where it's streaming, which is really exciting and new. So that's where you can find me.
Nice. Well, y'all follow Jenna and reach out to her. She has graciously been on the show, and she's really fun to talk to, as you can tell. Now, we have a beautiful song that she's written that you're about to hear, and it's called Special Treat. And Jenna, it's been amazing having you on the show. Y'all, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.
'Cause then I won't be feeling hungry. You give me all the sweetness I need. You fill me up like a buttercup. Life is tastier with you. Life is tastier with you.
Don't forget to leave a rating of the show. It helps to make us better. Thanks so much. Y'all take care.